welcome back to what Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Bat Châtillon 155-55, the Tier 9 French SPG, and it's located on the north spawn of Steppes under the command of Forstormo Zeta. Quite a name, that one. Anyway, this is the single shot version of the Bat Châtillon 155, 30-second reload, 155mm caliber, and I believe the alpha damage is 750, but he hasn't moved away from the spawn point yet. Yep, it is 750, and yep, so now he's moving. Okay, the chassis, the hull, is actually based on the M47 pattern. I say it's based on it, it's using some of the running gear from the M47. But this was a proposal put forward by Bat Châtillon for a replacement Arty for the French forces. They did produce some prototypes, but they never put it into main production. Now he's headed off up into the north corner. I was right into that little corner where the trees are to fire at the enemy using that rock as cover. And that rock is actually quite handy because it does give sun protection, but he did knock over something when he moved into that position. He might have given away his position to the enemy if they were watching carefully. But there's a T-54 reasonably close on the east side of the battlefield. He gets a lovely first hit, 274 hit points. That wouldn't have been a pen, but it is badly damaged, the T-54. Now his reload time is 25 seconds. He's got a good crew. He's probably got a rammer as well. That certainly helps. T-54's gone out of sight, but I think he's gone down into the dip. We've got a T-34-2 nearby. And in fact, our Lynx 6x6 made it up to near our cap area, but we're going to go after this M440-51, which is a French heavy. This is a Tier 9 game, we're top tier. Instead, he's going after the Object 430 instead. Rounds out, it's going to fall short, it did. Yeah, that Object 430 is actually sitting directly behind our T-54. Oh, and he's got a fire on the T-54, and he's gone down. That Object 430, we couldn't fire at him directly. If we had, we would have damaged our own teammate. So, of course, Forstormo Zeta had to actually try and aim it away from the 430 to try and stun him, but not damage his own teammate or stun his own teammate in the process. Just waiting for the right target. Okay, Object 430 again, lining him up, rounds out, and that's a hit. 310 hit points, 2 critical hits. Looks like it tracked him, and it stunned him. He's turning around, so he obviously didn't like that shot. But here comes the AMX M451. That's a nice big heavy to hit, and he's looking at our T-34-2 up on top. Can we get a shot in? Almost loaded. Lined up, rounds out, direct hit. 222, that was a good shot. We knocked the tree down, but we are moving, so it doesn't really matter too much that we have knocked the tree down. Now, Forstormo Zeta is actually using his brain because the west side of the battlefield has fallen into our hands, but the enemy is getting closer on the east side. So he's trying to maintain his distance, but still get shots on the enemy. M451 again, dialed in, now ready to shoot, lines up, rounds out, and another hit. 331, he makes it look so easy, but it's not that easy. And he's just extending the range, getting down to the far edge of the map. I think he wants to stay in this area, but he needs to be as far away as he can because there is a close enemy nearby. And he doesn't want that medium to get shots at him. Going after the M451 again, who's now in company with that 430. He's going to hit both of them, and he did. He got splash on the Object 430. Now with the new changes coming up under 1.5, that 430 probably would have got away with less damage because he was further away from the explosion. But then we've got a Conway and a KV4. And we've just lost our VK100-01P, got double tapped there. We fired the Conway and get a direct hit on him, 294. So Forstormo is now up to 1.7k of damage, which is pretty good. And both the Conway and the KV4 are very low on hit points. The Conway's been killed. KV4 will probably be next. We're almost ready to shoot. Lined him up. Rounds in. Now, rounds out straight away. And, oh, we didn't get the kill, but he did get hit just before he was wiped out. So we picked up some stun assist. Only 3 hit points of stun. And now we've assigned our aim to go after a Borsig Waffenträger who's hiding behind a rock. And we can loop the shell over the rock into him. Just waiting for the reload to complete. Now it's a T28 prototype, the screen version. You can see that on his turret. That's from Rusty. Oh, what a kill there. 71 hit points. That was the splash, actually, that took him out. And the Borsig's been killed as well. So that's been very handy. So there wasn't 2 people firing at the same tank. But there's that Lynx, and he's very low on health. Now an enemy medium, a Lanson C, was seen up in these heights. But we can't see him now. What we can see is that Lynx. Oh, and he was brutally taken out there by a T28 prototype. We're lining up a shot on that Charioteer who hit one of our tanks just now. And yes, we got a hit on him for 306. Now, meanwhile, while all that was going on, a Super Pershing made it fairly close to our cap, but he's now been wiped out. With 2 tanks ahead on the enemy. And our T28 prototype just took a hit from an AMX AC-48. And I think he was also hit by the enemy Arty. The enemy Arty is an M53, M55. Go for the Charioteer, rounds out. Oh, it hits the rock face. It didn't hit the Charioteer, and we've lost the T28. But the enemy loses their AC-48. So we're now still 2 tanks ahead on the enemy. And Forstormo has now got up to, what, a win 8 of about 2203. Right, there's the enemy Arty. He's been spotted. He's running away from our Charioteer. Lining up a shot. Rounds out. This should be good. Oh, it was close. Very close. It stunned the M53. But it wasn't a direct hit. Now, it looks like Forstormo has actually completed a mission as well, because it's showing tick on the mission tab. Lining up a shot. Waiting for the reload. Oh, and the Arty's been killed. So, only 3 members of the enemy team left. 2 Charioteers and a Lanson C. Now, Forstormo's looking in the area where the Charioteers were last seen. I expect they're still there. Oh, one of them's been found somewhere else, actually. He's on the other side of the road. Go for him. Lining up the shot. Lost sight of him again. I think the TVP pulled back behind cover. There's the Charioteer. Line him up. Rounds out. This should hit and kill. Oh, it didn't. He pulled back fast enough. The flight time of the shell is about 2.2 seconds, so it's more than enough time for the enemy to pull back and get away from the impact point. But he's been killed by the Scorpion G, and that just leaves 2 enemies remaining, the Lanson C and another Charioteer. Now we're expecting the Lanson C to be found somewhere up in the heights. There he is. Rounds out straight away because we correctly aimed in, and we didn't get the kill, but we did pick up some hit points. 192, and the Charioteer's up there as well, hiding behind the rocks, and he's gone. So that's the end of the game. Wow, let's have a look at the end of battle stats now. And it's an Ace Tanker for Forstormo Zeta in the Bat Châtillon 155-55. He picked up a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 16. A Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. In fact, he only got the 1 kill, but he did hit an awful lot of the enemy. So let's have a look at team score. Well, it didn't get the highest damage. That went to the Charioteer on the enemy team. He got 3,645 hit points of damage, but he didn't pick up a high caliber either. When it came to damage, he was actually in 3rd place. because there was an Object 430 ahead of him with 2,742, and Forstormo managed to get 2,657. When it came to kills, well, he only got the 1 kill, but the Charioteer on his team managed to get 4, the Scorpion managed to get 3, and the T-30 managed to get 2 alongside some of the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, yep, he managed to score much higher, 1,132 base experience points. Charioteer got 994, and the VK101P got 872. He fired 14 rounds in that game, got 9 direct hits and 15 splash damage of 2,657 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He hit 10 of the enemy, but only did kill 1, so there was a 9 difference there for the Confederate medal. And he also did damage assistance of 429 hit points and stun assistance of 2,889 off 14 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 51,822 credits, and after resupply of ammunition took away 36,142 credits. He received 1,698 XP, got a personal reserve bonus for 100%, so he took away 3,396 experience points altogether. So pretty solid mastery of the Bat Chat 155-55. Just shows you exactly how much work you're going to have to put in if you want to get an Ace Tanker. It is quite a good one, this one, 132. So yes, he did work very hard, but yeah, it's a good Arty actually. This is one of the fun Arties on the way to getting the tier 10 one with the 3-shot magazine. And I've got one of these. In fact, actually, I prefer this one with the stock gun rather than the top gun, because the stock gun actually has a faster reload. You can get 1 shot off every 30 seconds or even quicker if you've got a good crew and a rammer. So it certainly does help. If you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.